Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, there is a deck that people are sleeping on. It is a tier 1 strategy that no one seems to be playing. If we look at the top decks in MasterDuelMeta.com, which generally gives a good sense of what people are playing, maybe not the top tier decks, but at the very least what people are playing. Where is it? Where might it be? Let me show you. Right here, Tri-Brigade. Now, I know what you're saying. Snow, people are playing Tri-Brigade all the time. They're playing Lyreless Tri-Brigade, they're playing Zodiac Tri-Brigade. Why in the world are you saying people aren't playing Tri-Brigade? Well, it's the specific build that people aren't playing that I actually believe to be better than Lyreless Tri-Brigade. Reason being, well, let's just show you. So here we have pure Tri-Brigade. A deck list, well, okay, it is playing, of course, the DPE, which makes it a little bit better. But why is it that I believe that this deck is slept upon and should be played more often, and in all honesty is probably stronger than at least Tri-Brigade Lyrelisk? Reason being, look at how many hand traps this deck can play, as well as just other going second options, or just really good cards in general, right? When you look at something like Lyrelisk Tri-Brigade, oftentimes the deck list is a little bit more restricted. You're not able to play nearly as many extra deck options for potential additional boosts. You're not able to have as many corner case pieces to really make the deck go round in situations that are a little bit less common. The reason I like the pure Tri-Brigade build for specifically the latter on Master Duel is given the fact that with more options available to you, if you end up seeing that you need to play more back row removal, you can throw that in. If you need to play more targeted effect negation, you can do that. If you need to play more specific extra deck monsters, you can do that. You have the space available to change your strategy, and more specifically, it works better against more strategies. Tri-Brigade Lyrelisk, if you go second, you're kind of just out of luck. There's not a whole lot that you can do other than making Zeus. Maybe if you have the Lyrelisk half of your deck, you can potentially go into that, but that could also just potentially be stopped, so who knows. That's the thing. Against something like a Sword Soul, going second with this deck oftentimes is good enough. You're able to play so many hand traps that it should be enough to stop your opponent. So let's quickly do the card by card, starting off with the hand traps. We're playing one Effect Veiler because it's basically just copy 4 of Imperm, which is very, very nice. We're playing triple Maxi, triple Ash Blossom, and 1 Nibiru. That's it for the hand traps, but we are also able to play double Forbidden Droplets, double Called By, and a Harpy's Feather Duster as additional options for whatever it may be. If you want to play more hand traps, you can most certainly do that by taking out other tech cards such as the Pot of Prosperity and the Foolish Burial, maybe even cutting down on Tenki. So again, you can make this deck significantly stronger going second if you want to. On top of that, you can even set up very good turn 1 boards. So there you go. Let's talk about the Tri-Brigades. We're playing triple Nerval, double Karos, and triple Kit. Reason for that is because we are also playing 2 Rescue Cat, so having additional level 3 or lower beast type monsters is very nice for the Rescue Cat normal summon. We're also playing double Fractal because of course we are. And then of course we are playing Celestial and Dasher and the 2 Fusion Destiny. And then the last cards are, of course, the Foolish Burial, 2 Pot of Prosperity. We don't need the entirety of our extra deck, and basically, if we can just find any card off the top that is more specific, it is very nice. So you could just banish 3, and then you're off to the races. You could also change this out for Pot of Desires and get just a generic draw 2. The Pot of Desires I don't like playing, given the fact that we are playing DPE. So I do want to have both of the materials for DPE if it comes up. And then, of course, the triple Tenki and double Revolt. This is another reason why I think this deck is a little bit stronger than a Tri-Brigade Lyrelisk, because double Revolt is absolutely insane advantage. Moving on to the extra deck. Of course, we are able to play DPE, which is very strong, along with the Verte Anaconda. We also need the Almirage because, of course we do. We are playing a fire-fighting Darumadal. It's a Beast Warrior that we can link into off of any of our Tri-Brigade effects. That pops a Speller Trap. Very nice. We have IP Masquerena. just an overall very solid card and can allow us to go into an Apollousa on the opponent's turn. We have one Ferrijit, one Bearbrum. We have one I'm Desperate Doom Eagle, which is very nice for shuffling back cards your opponent controls, or in their graveyard, sorry, that your opponent has in their graveyard, and allowing you to just kind of like get rid of it. I shuffled back an Alistair with this card. It's very nice. It's not something that you can generally play in a lot of the other builds. It is played a little bit more in the Literalisk, but not too often. The one Rugal, I think this card is also very slept on. It gets you advantage off of bringing back a Tri-Brigade, but it also can proc your Sure Egg. So if you end up having a Sure Egg on your side of the field and maybe don't want to activate it because there's nothing good to activate it on, you can, with Rugal, still be able to activate the Sure Egg, which is very nice. We have one Apo, one access code, which can get very large thanks to the triple Sure Egg that we have, so we can link off the Sure Egg into an access code, and then one Underworld Goddess. So that's the list. Let's hop into the duels and show you how this deck performs and why I believe it should be more common. Alright, so here we are in our first duel, and I'm just going to say right now that I know people are like, oh, Tri-Brigade shouldn't be played because, like, you know, people have already played it a whole bunch, and yeah, that's why no one's playing it. But this is just more so like, hey, maybe consider playing this if you're already playing Tri-Brigade. It's a really fun deck, and it has very different lines, very similar to something like a Lyrilisk Tri-Brigade, and yeah, I know Zodiac Tri-Brigade is probably the best, but I think that this one's very, very fun. However, this was also back when I was playing Gamma. As I said, there's a lot of different options that you can play, and yeah, just Gamma on your turn, drop down the Tanky, out comes the Ash Blossom, down comes the Gamma, you're off to the races, baby. So we are going to Gamma the Ash Blossom, and then we are going to grab up with the Tenki a Fractal. We're going to go and link off the two monsters into an IP Masquerena. We're going to go for 3 for the Pot of Prosperity, and we are going to reveal a Max C that we will end up taking, just given the fact that you know, off of a Pot of Prosperity, I'll grab the Max C. Why not? We're going to normal the Rescue Cat. Rescue Cat is going to go into the Kit and the Karos. We're going to go and link off into the Ferrijit. Kit will send Nerval. Nerval will add the Karos, the second Karos. We're going to special summon out our Fractal. Fractal effect will banish a few more. And we will go for the Bearbrum. We're then going to link off the Bearbrum into a Rugal, and then we will activate the effect of the Bearbrum, and we will grab the Revolt, shuffling back the Karos. And you might be like, well, why didn't you go for the Fusion Destiny? You can't even use it, you can't even activate it. Well, reason being, while I may be locked under the Bearbrum, Fusion Destiny is very good for going second, and so that is the general plan. So my opponent is going to go first. I am going to see them drop down the Alpha, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm probably playing against a going second strategy. This is not very good. And I didn't even get the draw off of the Maxi. Feels bad. But we're going to go into the Apollousa. They are going to negate the Ferrijit, which is like, what? You know that I have the Maxi. That's a bit odd, but okay. I'm going to activate the Revolt here as well, and we're going to go Revolt for 4. And we are going to special summon out a Sure Egg. Our Ferrijit will get negated, but we are going to get the Sure Egg advantage here. So we're going to send off of Kit, we are going to search off of the Nerval, the Karos, and then we are going to banish their Alpha. Then they are going to drop the Sword Soul Emergence, and I'm like, oh crap, they can literally just walk over me with the Taya. Not the greatest. I'm going to drop the Max C here, just so that if they did want to end up using the Taya here, it would cost them a little bit more. So there's that. They're going to special summon. I'm going to draw a Dasher, because of course I do. I draw Pot of Prosperity. My draws off of this Maxi are actually very bad. I draw like 0 hand traps. Literally none. So there's... No, I might draw like an Imperm. But they are going to do their whole Sword Soul combo. They actually draw... Or they actually add the Iris Sword Soul just to send it off of the long one. So there's that. They're going to go for the long one here. They are going to just draw us so many cards. Go into the Baron de Fleur. Use the long one. Okay, that's fine. They're going to pop all of our monsters, and I actually activate the Rugal here because I want them to utilize the Baron's effect. So I just want to negate the... or utilize the Baron effect so that... Because, of course, they've already used battle, I don't really have to worry about my life points as much. I just want this negate off of the field, so that basically I only have to deal with the 1 negate. They're going to go for the Taya, which they haven't used up until this point. And they are going to make another 8. They actually go for Chaos Ruler. I really don't know what they were going for here. But there's that. But yeah, all in all, my draws haven't been bad. We have both Fusion Destinies, but most importantly, we have like an Imperm and a Revolt and additional follow-up. We can even go Karos into additional banishes and stuff like that, along with the normal summon of a Tri-Brigade. So we are pretty much off to the races and don't really need much else. We draw another Tenki here. The Baron is going to shuffle itself back, and they're going to special summon out the Vishada. We're going to go for Karos here. We're going to pitch the Cat, special summon out the Karos. I'm going to activate the Tenki here just to grab the Fractal because it is the highest attack point monster. We're going to banish 4 here for a Shureg. Of course, this is going to be negated. Not that big of a deal, though, because we can just drop down the Fractal, activate the same effect, banish an additional 4 because we have so many beasts in our graveyard in order to special summon out a Shureg. Shureg's effect is going to activate. We're going to banish the Dragon Ruler, and then we're going to go for the DPE, at which point my opponent disconnects. I don't really think that there was much that they could do to stay in that game, though, given the fact that we could DPE pop a monster and then just go in for a whole bunch of damage. I don't think it was quite lethal, but with a Revolt, a Imperm, as well as just DPE, Shureg activations and stuff like that, as well as the additional follow-up, it didn't seem like we were too far, or too likely to lose that game. Alright, and this hand is pretty bad, but luckily we do end up getting to go first. So we are going to go for the Tenki here, and we are going to search out the Fractal. Fractal effect is going to activate. We will send Kit. Kit will activate. We will send Nerval. Nerval will activate. We will search the Karos. Karos effect, pitch a Nerval, special summon itself. Out comes the Maxi. I do have the called by for it, so it's fine. We're going to call by the Maxi, special summon out the Karos. Karos effect, we're going to banish 2, and we are going to go for the Ferrigit. Reason being, we can special summon out this Nerval and use the Nerval effect, but also if Ferrigit is used as a material, or if it just leaves the field, we are able to shuffle away this Dasher for basically anything else. So we're going to special summon out the Bear Brum here, and then we are going to go for the 3 for the Apollosa. Now, I actually make a mistake here, just given the fact that I did my Link arrows pretty badly. So now we just kind of have a 3-mat Apo and a dead Revolt. But at the very least, we are able to shuffle away the Dasher and have Revolt in case they don't have anything. But hopefully this Apollosa gets us there. This was kind of bad, but you know, if they deal with either of these 2 monsters, we are able to use the Revolt, so I'm not too worried. And in draw phase, my opponent is going to activate the emergency teleport and then activate in the same phase the El Shaddoll Fusion. So they actually send the Dasher from their hand in order to go for a Winda here. Kind of odd, but okay. They're going to activate the Wendy in order to special summon out the Aerial, and then we will proceed to main phase. They're going to normal summon the Invoker. I'm just going to let that go. Reason being, I still need to be big enough to walk over this Winda with my Apollosa, if that ends up being the case, since under Winda, we literally cannot summon the Revolt. We just can't activate it. So there's that. They're going to go to battle. They're going to walk over the Ferrigit. I'm just not going to activate it because why would I? And then they will pass the turn, realizing that they literally can't do anything with the Alistair. We're going to draw Revolt for turn. All right. We will proceed to the battle phase, walk over the monster with our Apo, activate the Apo in response to their monster trying to grab back the El Shaddoll Fusion, and then finally, still in battle, activate the Revolt. We're going to go and use all of the materials to make a Shureg. Shureg is then going to activate, and then we are going to chain Nerval and Kit. Kit will send the Karos, Nerval will add a Kit, and then we will banish the Aerial. We're going to walk into the Alistair, normal summon the Kit. We're going to go for 3 here, and as I mentioned earlier, I did end up shuffling away an Alistair. So here comes the Doom Eagle, and we're going to shuffle back that Alistair. Then we are going to go for a Link 2 of Predaplant Verte Anaconda. We're going to activate the Anaconda and bring out a DPE. So now we have DPE, 2 activations of Apollosa, a Shureg already on our side of the field, and a Revolt set. Again, pretty decent. You know, and that's the big advantage of this deck over a lot of the others. We're going to negate the Dasher effect here. We're going to bring out the DPE. And my opponent is going to activate the Shaddoll Fusion. Not a lot that I could have done about that, and out comes the Shaddoll Construct. Now, notably, they actually sent some interesting cards. They sent an Eldritch the Golden Lord, as well as a Squamata, which means, basically, they are guaranteed to get something sent to the graveyard, while also having a Golden Lord, which is a little bit problematic. But out comes the Squamata and the Construct. We're going to just negate the Construct. At least they're not sending 2 things, because they could send something like an Aerial, which could be problematic. Yeah, so that's what I'm most worried about, is something like an aerial being sent. But they send the Schism here, and then they link off the Construct into a Gravity Controller. Construct effect is going to activate. I don't have any more negates. They are going to add the Schism. Not too beat up about that, given the fact that we do have the Revolt set, as well as, since that does have to activate in the main phase, we can literally just DPE. They attempt to move from main phase to battle phase, and we're just going to pop the Gravity Controller with the DPE. I'm not really worried about any back row, and with the Eldritch coming out, again, we still have Revolt, so we can Revolt, and then in the opponent's standby or draw phase, we can just pop with DPE. So they're going to go to battle, I'm going to flip up the Revolt, and they are going to concede. Good game. Alright, another reason why I'm so surprised so few people are actually playing this deck is given the fact that it is incredibly forgiving, compared to something like Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk, or just other decks in the game at the moment. This deck is also very forgiving, much like Sword Soul, much like Eldritch, much like Zodiac Tri-Brigade. But people choose to play instead Heroes or Sky Striker, which is odd to me. Anyway, my opponent is playing Sword Soul, but we drew double Imperm, so good game, I guess. So down comes the Imperm. It's going to negate the Moye, and they pass on that. Alright, sounds good. I draw, for a turn, a Kit. We're going to grab ourselves a Fractal here, and we are going to activate the Fractal. Fractal, send Kit. Kit effect, send Nerval. Nerval, search out the Karos. Karos effect is going to activate... Oh, sorry. First, I activate the Pot of Prosperity to dig for something. I ended up finding another Kit, and I'm actually going to add the Kit. I had the option of either having a Called By or a Gamma. Again, this was when I was playing Gamma in the deck. I decided to go for the Kit here because it is an extra material that I can send to the graveyard, so that I have 4 materials in grave for 2 different banishes off of the Karos and the other Tri-Brigade that I needed. So here I'm going to activate the Karos, pitch the Kit, special the Karos. Karos effect is going to go for the 2. We're going to go for the Berum. I'm going to normal summon the Kit. We are going to banish another 2, and we are going to go for the Ferrigit. We are going to link off all of those into an Access Code Talker. Now, I didn't want to give my opponent a second turn. I was like, Sword Soul, they can break my board. I don't want to give them the second turn. So I make Access Code here. I forgot that I was under Prosperity. So realistically, I should have linked off all 3 of these into a... I should have linked off all 3 of these into, instead of an Access Code, an Apollosa, or something along those lines, right? I can use the Berum, I could use the Ferrigit. Either way, both of those options are better. I end up not doing that because I'm dumb, but I still get to go and activate the DPE, and we do get in a lot of damage, actually. So it does put them below half, which is nice, and since we have the Imperm and the DPE, I'm feeling okay about this. And then seeing the second Pot of Prosperity come out against a Sword Soul opponent, I'm pretty confident at this point. They have 6 cards in their extra deck. I'm really not too worried. Down comes the Ecclesia, and they're going to go into the Taya. They're going to then use the... I'm just going to pop the Taya, and they just pass the turn, which seems rather odd until I realize the Psyframe driver is in their hand, along with the driver. So, Psyframe, Gear Gamma, and the driver were both in their hand, and now I start to realize why they did what they did. So I'm actually going to special out the Maxi with the Dasher, and then I'm going to banish my own DPE with the Celestial to draw 2 cards, and then just proceed to battle and kill them. Yeah, I genuinely don't know why they didn't just normal a Moye. At the very least, you're not dead there, so interesting. But yeah, there we go. And now, to be fair, I am not the greatest when it comes to playing this version of the deck, but obviously you can tell that that doesn't really matter. Now, I drew a Nibiru against Adagnister, so this game is now over, but in all reality, we still have a pretty decent matchup even against this, because we can actually make it a 6,300 attack point access code, so there's that. But my opponent is going to, do their Adagnister stuff. I'm also just including this because I like watching Adagnister players suffer. Out comes the Cyber's Wicked. Whoa. They're going to go do some Cyber stuff. And then they're going to add back a card to their hand. And another one. And then I Nibiru them. Because I'm like, I don't want this Nibiru token to be rather large. So there's that. They're going to set 2 and pass and take the 23 from their effect. We draw for turn. Cat, probably the best draw off the top. We're going to search out the Fractal. We are going to use the Cat in order to go into Kit and Karos. There we go. We're going to go into the Fetish Sheet, and then we will send the Nerval off of the Kit. Nerval will grab the Karos. They're going to special summon a monster here that will allow them to search out another eye, spell, or trap, which they grab the Reborn. We're going to special summon out the Fractal. Fractal effect will banish 1, 2, 3, and 4 to go for a Sure Egg. The reason I go for a Sure Egg here is pretty simple. I want to deal with this back row, and we can use it as well as the Fetishite and the Fractal in order to go into an access code that can be 6k, which is just enough to kill them. So that's basically the plan. So we're going to banish the Crossout Designator that they had, and then we are going to use all 4 of those materials, or all 3 of those materials, to go for the access code. And then I actually order this incorrectly. I go access code 1, when access code is always supposed to be the last one. So that was a big mistake for me. But doesn't really matter. At this point, we have 2 materials, so we're going to pop 2 cards. I pop the Island as well as their monster, and then we're going to attack in with the Nib, and then with the access code. Good game. Alright, so I know that a lot of people are sick of Tri-Brigade overall, and to be fair, that makes sense. It is a deck that has been played for a really long time, but it's still surprising to see how few people are actually playing Tri-Brigade on the ladder. Whenever I end up going on to... I'm in Diamond, right? Whenever I end up going on to Diamond, I never see Tri-Brigade. I rarely see it, I should say. And whenever I do, it is very fun to play against. So, I'm giving this to you guys, hoping that y'all will play it, so that I can play against it and have some fun. Because I genuinely enjoy playing against this deck. It is just so enjoyable. But yeah, that's basically it. I just, you know, I want to see more of this deck. I think it's cool. And there's a lot of different ways that you can build it, which is also very cool. Yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.